Part 2, let's go! X-Men. Often considered one of the best Marvel animated series of all time. I can definitely see why. This show is, well, obviously about the X-Men. We've got Cyclops, Wolverine, Rogue, Beast, Jubilee, Jean, Storm, Gambit, and Professor X. And there was also this character at the beginning called Morph, who has shape-shifting powers like Mystique, except imagine if Mystique was a guy and annoying as fuck. Morph did die in the earlier episodes, which kind of a good thing, I think, because that guy was fucking annoying. But yeah, there's that. The designs of the X-Men in this are based off of Jim Lee's designs from the early 90s, which have become signatures of the characters. I mean, if you don't know X-Men, then, well, you're really missing out. Yeah, the plot is pretty straightforward. You know, there's Sentinels everywhere trying to get mutants. Halt, mutant. And then throws a cable out to try and get some mutants. And you also have Magneto, trying to, world domination. Well, mutant domination over humans. And, well, you also have the Apocalypse storyline going on in the future with Cable and all his friends, which is interesting. And hey, this show even has the Phoenix Saga, and, well, a lot of people consider it that they did better than it was done in the movies, which, that's not hard to do, now isn't it? I'm only talking about X3, not... the voice cast is amazing. You, of course, have Wolverine. That voice of Wolverine has become the definitive voice of him, Bob. That was a terrible Wolverine impression. But yeah, you do also have other characters like Iceman, Nightcrawler, Quicksilver, and Scarlet Witch, yada 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 yada. Basically everything you need in an X-Men show. They did also have a crossover with SpiderMan, which was pretty good. And Magneto is a badass as well as Apocalypse. My one complaint, and this is just a complaint I have with X-Men in general, that you feel free to disagree with me, but just problem that I have with X-Men, except for the movies, is that, well, there's Sentinels that are out to get mutants, everyone's against mutants, and there's this superhero group, the X-Men, that are mutants, but, there's also other heroes out there that in the same universe that appreciate heroes like Spider-Man, Captain America, blah 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 blah. I mean, I think the Marvel Universe has a bit of a bigger problem with rogue science experiments going wrong than mutants. Don't get me wrong, they still have a problem with mutants like Magneto and the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. I almost said Brotherhood of Evil, but no, that's Teen Titans. Yeah, just, I don't know. I mean, the movies aren't affected by it because they don't share a universe with other heroes. I mean, rogue science experiments, look at all of Spider-Man's lineup. So yeah, X-Men, really great show, and definitely something to watch if you're getting into X-Men. Though there are other X-Men shows out there, although this is perhaps the best. A Lion King spinoff that has Timon and Pumbaa in it? Sign me up! So, Timon and Pumbaa, it obviously stars Timon and Pumbaa. Obviously, they're still in the African jungle, although this show they do go outside of the African jungle, go to places like Russia, Spain, etc. And, well, it's quite a funny show. Timon and Pumbaa are very colorful and just exciting characters. I absolutely love Timon and Pumbaa. They're one of my favorite things that came out of The Lion King. Not to say The Lion King overall was crap, just I really like Timon and Pumbaa. And giving them their own show definitely made a lot of sense. So, In terms of the plot, well, sometimes they jumped around to other places, like I said, Russia and Spain. And, well, it surprisingly worked. They did... just the stuff they did was pretty hilarious, I think. Though, a strange thing about this show is that, well, the season, like, the first two seasons were, like, split to two different channels, like Disney's channels and then CBS. Like, Disney Channel would air, these, like, certain episodes of Season 1, and CBS would air certain episodes of Season 1. It's strange. Just look at the Wikipedia page and you'll see what I mean. It's incredibly random. Though, yeah, Timon Pumbaa, I think it's very funny and just energizing. Though the third season, it did dip a little in quality, and it did, end when it should have. But overall, it's a pretty good show. And hey, I heard it's rerunning on Disney Junior, so, maybe you can catch it then. Oh, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. Awesome. The first and only TV show that Pixar's ever done, and it's not utilizing their CG animation. I don't mind. I really don't mind that they did that. And in the intro, you see, the actual Buzz from Toy Story with all the CG in it, and he's with his friends watching this new show, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. So, basically, this show is the Toy Story gang watching a show about Buzz. Strange, I know, but, what you gonna do. This show has a pilot to it that was released on VHS. It's a movie, Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, The Adventure Begins, which I still have, though it's somewhere buried amongst other crap. But, yeah, in that he's voiced by Tim Allen, but then the show he's voiced by Patrick Warburton, or you may also know him as Joe from Family Guy. He does an okay job, though it is strange hearing Joe Swanson come out of Buzz Lightyear's mouth. I mean, he's really trying hard to sound like Tim Allen, but I would have preferred if they just kept Tim Allen, though, Tim Allen probably couldn't do it because, he had other crap to do. I don't know. Maybe if I look more into it, I'll find an answer. But yeah. Yeah, there's, of course, Buzz, and then he's also got, 3 other cadets with him. Princess Mira Nova, who is this, well, she is a princess, but she decided to become a space ranger, and, well, she's kind of like Danny Phantom. She's got ghost powers, except, well, she doesn't turn into a ghost. They're naturally built into her, and everyone knows she's got those kinds of powers because the planet where she's from, the people are known for that. There's also Booster, who's this fat alien thing that was first a janitor, then, after helping Buzz defeat Zurg in The Adventure Begins, he finally became a space ranger. And then there's XR, who is this little robot created by the little green men, or the LGMs. Those little tiny green aliens from Toy Story. He's a robot space ranger who, at first, their commander, Commander Nebula, doesn't like, but he does grow over time. In terms of villains, you of course have the evil Emperor Zurg, who is awesome. And there's also, his little minions like Grubs and Brain Pods and his foot soldiers, which are called Hornets, who I swear look like robotic AIM soldiers. But yeah, Buzz goes out, and his gang goes out, doing stuff, saving the day, and just, blah, 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 blah. The show, unfortunately, didn't last long, which is a shame, because I really liked it. Yeah, so yeah, I definitely recommend you check out Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. You won't be disappointed. Spider-Man the Animated Series, often considered the best Spider-Man series ever made. Is it really that good? It made it on this list, so duh. So yeah, what's it about? Well, Spider-Man, it's about Spider-Man, obviously, who goes out fighting crime. fighting the various villains that, we've all come to know, like the Lizard, Venom, Carnage, Rhino, etc., etc. Shocker, Doc Ock, Mysterio, and also Kingpin. You know what? I'm not gonna name them all because there's too many damn villains' names. There's just so many. The strange thing about this show, however, is that they introduced the Hobgoblin before Green Goblin. I don't get it either. But yeah, yeah, there's that. There's also Black Cat. And Spider-Man does also cross over with various other heroes like the X-Men, Daredevil, etc. And I do also like Madam Web in this show. It is entertaining. It's everything you ever wanted in a Spider-Man series. All in here. Just it's great. That's all I can really say. It's great. Now, House of Mouse. This is, I guess you could say, a giant Disney crossover thing since, well, the House of Mouse is this club that's run by Mickey where a bunch of Disney characters meet from, like, various movies or other media. That's essentially it. It's got, all your Disney characters, Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, Pluto, etc. Though they do also show old Disney cartoons as well as, like, recent Mickey cartoon shorts. That's the main reason I watch those. I watch this show because of that. The antics going on elsewhere were alright. Like, Pete trying to sabotage the House of Mouse and other crap going on, like the House of Mouse staff getting replaced by robots, and yeah, that was alright, though. The cartoon shorts, that was the big draw for me, anyway. So, yeah, House of Mouse. Definitely a great way to see old Disney cartoons. Once you spout out the title of the show, you instantly remember the theme song, and it does not leave your head. Yeah, so DuckTales. It is awesome. It stars, Scrooge McDuck and his great nephews, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, who are left in his care because Donald went and joined the Navy, finally. And, well, they do go on different kinds of adventures, most because, well, Scrooge is the richest duck in the world, and he tries to get even more rich. Though he does still care for Huey, Dewey, and Louie. There are, of course, antagonists. The one I remember most were the Beagle Boys, because, well, I don't know, just three fat burglars just really stuck out to me. And Magica de Spell, I don't really remember much of what she did, because, well, I think she was overshadowed by the Beagle Boys. Yeah, it's kind of like, Disney meets Indiana Jones, essentially. Go to different parts of the world and get other crap. The Beagle Boys always tried to, steal Scrooge McDuck's fortune and, get all the money for themselves. It's a fun show, quite frankly, and it did, open up more for Disney's animation like Darkwing Duck and Chip and Dale. It's just fun. I definitely recommend you check it out. Oh, Power Rangers Down Thunder, perhaps the best PR series in the whole Disney era. So, what's it about? Well, first off, it's based off of Bakuryu Sentai Abarenja. I'm gonna try not to sing the theme song to Abaranger, because then that's what this part would only include. But anyway, what's it about? Well, it has Tommy in it. Tommy from MMPR, and still played by Jason David Frank. He was part of this research with dinosaurs, however, it got all destroyed, and then Tommy ends up being a teacher at this high school and recruits 3 kids that he had to deal with in detention. Well, Tommy has this lab with these gemstones, and the three kids, Connor, Ethan, and Kira, go in. Well, they do take the gemstones, and, well, the gemstones do give them these civilian powers, like Connor can run fast, he's a jock, so yeah, and also, spoilers, his Zord was the T-Rex, so that makes sense. Ethan was kind of nerdy, he got, like, tough armored skin, much like a Triceratops, and Kira could scream like the pterodactyl, or be like Black Canary. So yeah. Yeah, Tommy does have them become Power Rangers, and they do get their own Zords. And the Thundersaurus Megazord is really cool. I mean, a drill on one arm and then a Triceratops head there. Although he does have normal hands underneath and has a sword and shield, though the drill is a lot cooler. Tommy does also eventually become a ranger himself, the Black Dino Ranger, and he gets invisibility as his own power, which, as Zord is a Brachiosaurus, I don't see what else they could have done. And then comes the fifth, or, well, he's dubbed as like the sixth ranger position, even though he's the fifth, the White Ranger, Trent, who starts out as evil but becomes good. Tommy tries to help Trent, overcome the power of the White Dino Gem because, well, hey, Tommy, when he was the Green Ranger in MMPR, he was evil for a while and, well, doesn't want Trent to go down that same road. Trent does, and he did succumb to the White Ranger's powers, though he did, come to his senses and became a good guy. As for the villains, there is, of course, well, the villain everyone remembers most is Zeltrax, who is the most badass, second in command ever. Sorry, Goldar fans, it's Zeltrax. Of course, there's also the main villain, Mesogog, who is always terrifying. He's like this humanoid dinosaur man. He was scary and very terrifying and just all evil. And there was also his other general person, Elsa, who, she kind of got overshadowed by Zeltrax, I think. Yeah, they have all their Zords which can attach to become different arms, like there's a puncher, there's punching thing, saw blades, scissors, and another drill, as well as other kind of crap. And in the last episode, they put in all their dino powers and destroy Mesogog. And this show did have a crossover with Ninja Storm and had two crossovers with SPD. Probably should have mentioned the one in SPD, but that's besides the point. But yeah, this is incredible. If you haven't seen any of the Disney era shows yet, I definitely highly recommend Dino Thunder. The 7D, perhaps the most recent show to show up on this list. So the 7D, well, it's about the 7 dwarves, although can't use dwarves anymore because, well, apparently that's offensive now, which, fine, whatever, quite frankly. I mean, maybe I don't see that much into why they can't use dwarves anymore, but that's probably a video for another day. But yeah, it has 7 dwarves: Dwok, Dopey, Bashful, Grumpy, Happy, Sneezy, and Sleepy. And they live in this place called Jollywood, which is ruled by this queen called Queen Delightful, who I swear is kind of a clueless idiot. And that's kind of her thing through the show. There are villains in the show, Grim and Hildy Gloom, who aren't like maniacal evil, they're kind of like comedic evil, which, this was also meant to be aimed for a lot younger kids, so that's alright. And it is pretty funny, and there are a lot of things that, older people such as myself can enjoy. The individual dwarves are entertaining. I gotta say, my favorite is probably Grumpy. He's probably just, I don't know, he's just so out there. That's just my thoughts anyway. I do recommend you see this. It is incredible. Will there be Snow White in this show? Probably not, but only time will tell. Oh, Recess. This show is a favorite among many, and who can't see that? So what's it about? Well, it's about these kids, TJ, Ashley, Vince, Gretchen, Gus, and Mikey, who are fourth graders, and well, they enjoy recess and, try to defend having recess. And there are, of course, some antagonists. There's Miss Finster, who is kind of like the groundskeeper in that crabby old bag that you always thought would someday linger your school, or maybe you did have a Miss Finster. And she had her own little sidekick, Randall, who I swear looks like Moe from The Simpsons. Randall is usually like her spy and did a bunch of crap for him that she couldn't do, like get insight into what the kids were doing, yada 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 yada. And, well, it is enjoyable. The things they do at recess are hilarious. Like the one where old Rusty collapsed. That's one of my favorite episodes, quite frankly. just it's a great show, and it even got, its own theatrical movie, Recess School's Out, which I remember seeing, and it was great. Well, if you haven't seen it yet, definitely go see it. Maybe it'll bring you back to when you were in grade school. Because, well, it definitely did for me. Now, what could be number one, you ask? Well, yes, it is the Avengers, Earth's mightiest heroes. Yes. So, what's this show about? Well, self-explanatory. It's about the Avengers. One unique thing that this show has done that I haven't seen yet, and I'm sure someone's gonna say, "Oh, this show did the same thing that Earth's Mightiest Heroes did too." So, like, it had a bunch of micro episodes before the show debuted, introducing the individual characters: Ant-Man and the Wasp, Iron Man, Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Widow, etc. Well, in terms of heroes that appeared in season 1 anyway. So, yeah, there's that. And, well, we've got Captain America, Iron Man, the Hulk, Thor, Ant-Man, Wasp, and those are founding members. Also, then they get Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, Vision, and Black Panther later on. And, well, they are neat and colorful characters. They, have the personalities and characters that you would expect them to have. And Hank Pym Ant-Man does eventually become Yellow Jacket, and we got the second Ant-Man, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head because, well, his name's not Hank Pym. Let's put it that way. There is also SpiderMan does appear in this in like the second season, and it's Drake Bell Spider-Man, except this isn't in the same continuity as Ultimate Spider-Man. It was supposed to be done by Josh Keaton, who was Spider-Man in Spectacular Spider-Man, but Ultimate Spider-Man was going on at the time. They were like, you know what, let's use Drake Bell instead. So yeah, there's also other Avengers: Iron Fist, Power Man, the Fantastic Four, War Machine, Wolverine, who is the only member of the X-Men to appear in this, which is a bit of a shame. There is, of course, also S.H.I.E.L.D. with Nick Fury, Black Widow, Maria Hill, and all those guys. And they do have a wide range of villains, not village. My mistake. There's Radioactive Man, Abomination, the leader, Baron Zemo. That's what I do every time I say Baron Zemo. There is also AIM and Hydra. There's MODOK. And Wonder Man, who doesn't become good in this show because he died. And I'm not a big fan of Wonder Man. He's kind of a dick. And there's even, character-specific villains like Red Hulk, Beta Ray Bill, and Winter Soldier, for instance. It really plays out great, and in the, last episode that wasn't supposed to be the last episode, you see the Avengers fighting Galactus and, defeat him. That's not good enough. Now you're like, oh, what else could they, fight? I mean, they did Galactus. How about Thanos? Yeah, Thanos doesn't appear in here. He probably would have appeared in Season 3 if that had happened. And I also heard some rumors going around that, there would also be vampires in the 3rd season. You'd have Dracula, who is also a Marvel character. So yeah, this show, it's never going to be able to finish because we got another Avengers show, which is a big bummer because this show had a lot going on. The characters were amazing, the action great, and the animation unique. At first I thought it looked a little kiddie looking, but after a while I got used to it, and I love it. So yeah, Earth's Mightiest Heroes is the best Toon Disney or Disney XD show ever made. I'm probably going to do some TF reviews and then get on to the worst shows that have been on Toon Disney and Disney XD. Until then, I will see you later.